podcast section. Happy New Year, everyone. We are coming around the end of 2023, and I want to talk today about how the science of behavior can relate to behavior change around New Year's resolutions or really any change that you want to make in behavior. But this is the time of year where many people put forward goals to make changes in their behavior. And as we all know, many people have a lot of trouble keeping those goals going. So let's talk about why, when we've got high motivation to make a change, sometimes that change still doesn't come. What sort of things get in the way, and how is that explained through the science of behavior? We won't be able to go through all of them. There's a ton of different reasons that a change you want to make isn't going to stick, but we can go through a few today. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one I want to talk about is an extinction burst. Now, if you've been watching this show for a while, you have heard about this before, but let me go ahead and explain it real quick. So let's imagine that you want to make a change and go from your usual behavior to a new one. So it's the thing that you've been doing, the thing that's been reinforced, the pattern that you're in is now changing to a new one. Okay. So we've got that first thought. Now I'm going to put it into a picture and translate them together. Imagine that every day you go to a vending machine and you put in a quarter and you get a soda. Great. Now today you put in the quarter and there's no soda. You're going to engage in all sorts of different behaviors, perhaps that you've never done before around this vending machine. You might shake it, you might yell at it, you might say, "Oh, what's going on?" You've never done any of this because it's always worked the same in the past. So, just like that quarter has always gotten you a soda, that behavior that you have been engaging in, that pattern has always led to the same things. Your brain is really comfortable with that. Brains greatly dislike change. Keeping things the same, keeping things predictable is often what it's going to want to keep because we know that's safe. Even if it hurts, even if we don't like it, our brain says, I know what that is. It's safe. Now, look at that change there. Remember in the soda example, it went from quarter, get the soda to there's no soda. All this new behavior comes up. Well, we can expect that with our brain as well, with our thoughts often. So we've got all this motivation to go through with the change. Let's say it's the classic, I'm going to go to the gym every day. So we've got this motivation. Our thoughts are going, yeah, change. This is going to be great. Can't wait. Maybe the first few times we go, this is fantastic. And then we have that one tough morning. And we start to see, just like we saw in the vending machine example, all these different thoughts, all these different behaviors that we didn't before. Oh, I don't need to go today. I'm too sore. I like to sleep more. I hate the gym. It's the worst. All these different things that we hadn't engaged in before start flooding up. Now, what our brain is hoping to do is get us back to the old safe pattern. Again, even if it's not a pattern that we want, it's not one we like, and we're really motivated to make that change, a part of our brain wants to go back to safety. So that's what's happening there. And what can help us get through that extinction burst, that big burst of new behavior as we start to make the change and extinguish the old behavior, is going through and recognizing what those thoughts are. Oh, brain, you're trying to keep me safe. Got it. Okay. So, in recognizing and sort of honoring those thoughts for what they are, man, you're trying to take care of me right now, even though this is nowhere near my values and completely against my goals. I can thank you for that and then make a new change. So, again, if you start to want to make a change in your life, you recognize all this new thoughts, all these new behaviors start up, different things start to block you. It's probably your brain trying to keep you safe. If you can thank it for doing its job and move forward from there, you're going to be able to make a different behavioral choice and maybe have a better chance of keeping this new change keeping going in your life. Now, the next one I want to talk about is going to be ratio strain. So, where the first one looked into uh, your brain really trying to go back to safe, this one is going, okay, it's worth it, it's worth it, it's worth it. It doesn't feel worth it anymore. So it's that strain of the amount of squeeze that I'm putting into this isn't equaling the amount of juice I'm getting out. And when you start to feel that, there's a few things to consider. The first is, did I put something in place that is not the natural reinforcer for this specific behavior change? And if I did, am I having to up it, up it, up it, up it constantly in order to feel like things are worth it? If that's so, we can go, okay, next time I know I need to keep my reinforcers. I need to keep the reason that I'm doing this linked to the actual thing I'm doing so that it doesn't become this, oh, if I don't get that extra thing, it doesn't feel good and I don't want to do it anymore. And if we've already found ourselves in that situation, we can go, okay, what would truly be the reinforcement for this behavior? So if I'm going again, let's use the gym example. What do I truly want from going to the gym? For one person, the value may be, hey, I really want to get off of blood pressure medication. For another person, the value may be, hey, I really want to be able to run a mile. There's all sorts of different reasons that we want to engage in this change in behavior. And if we don't genuinely know what that reason is and are working toward that specific reason itself, rather than just doing it just to do it or because we, think we should or because we're going to go get ourselves smoothies afterwards, which has nothing pretty cool, but has nothing to do with the actual value and the goal, we're going to perhaps start to see that ratio strain where, again, I'm working hard, but it doesn't feel like it's paying off because it's not connected to your actual values and actual goals. Of course, I'm talking about this mostly from a adult perspective. We often as adults will put forward these behavior change goals, these New Year's resolutions as the new year comes around. But you can see these same things reflected in kids when they're in places where their behavior needs to change or they're trying to make changes in their behavior where they hit these same roadblocks. You see them doing so well for a little while and then it just snaps and goes back and you go, "Holy smokes. What happened? You were doing so well. We made this change. Why did it disappear?" And if you come back to this episode, you can listen back and go, "Oh, they might be going through that extinction burst moment where everything in their body and mind is going, go back to safe, even though it's nowhere near our motivations, even though it's nowhere near our goals or values, go back to safe." And in knowing that, we can reach them at the place that they're at and give them the support that they need to move forward. Now, if you ever want to talk about any of these things, you are more than welcome to contact me. You can go to chbehavior.com. You can call or text 919-579-6192, or you're always welcome to email me, kelly@chbehavior.com. And what I want to leave you with is this. It has been a beautiful 2023, and I wish you the absolute best in 2024. Behavior's tough, whether it's your own behavior or someone else's that you're looking to support and help get closer to your goals, help get closer to your values. And I know that we can make the changes that we need to in ourselves in order to create an environment that's going to foster more health in all of us. And I'm so glad to be a part of that journey for you. I'm so glad that I get to talk to you every week, the 10 o'clock hour on Next Door Radio, to make sure that you have the tools that you need to work forward and make beautiful changes in your life. Thank you again for joining me. This has been Kelly Siphon on Behavior 911. You're listening to Next Door Radio on nextdoorradio.com and the Next Door Radio app. I'll see you next week.